The world recession has meant that all countries in the world are rethinking how they design their higher education policies. What do you do in the face of a recession? There is a number of choices. What you need to do is make sure that students who would benefit from university still go. So you have to have a system where students are not put off from going to university. But you also have to have a system where governments aren't paying as much money. And this requires a careful balance. Your options are to increase fees, but if you increase fees, then participation goes down. So that means you need to think carefully about how, in the face of increased fees, you get students to go. This generally requires giving some support to poor students in particular to go to university. And the choice is between grants or loans. So in a financial crisis, I think the emphasis needs to be on student loans, where the student doesn't have to pay them back until they are earning in the labour market. In England and the United Kingdom, fees were introduced first in 1999 and then in 2006. And we've got very, very clear evidence that the increase in fees reduced participation in university. But at the same time, the government increased the generosity of student loans and, in some circumstances, grants. And what we saw was that this largely offset the negative impact of fees. So in England, with the increase in fees in both 1999 and in 2006, there was no change in participation. Fees reduced participation, but because they increased loans and grants, there was no overall effect. So it's not true that fees fees don't have any impact on participation, they do. But if they're accompanied by loans and grants, you can make sure that there's no change. In Spain, I think government is now introducing fees of between 15 and 25% of costs, and we can all understand why they are considering increasing fees. They need to find sources of funding for universities in the face of this current financial situation. However, if they do nothing else, if they just raise fees and do not do anything with student support, if they abolish grants, then they will affect participation, particularly amongst poorer kids. And that is not optimal. What you want to ensure is that those kids who are going to benefit the most from university go to higher education. And a fee policy without a loan or a grant system will not work.